their personality. We work with them to understand their internal HR processes, what they're really looking for in terms of candidates, and then screen probably about 100 applicants for each round of internships they do. Narrow that down to about a dozen or so that really fit both, as I mentioned, the academic background, the experience, and some of the more intangibles in terms of the personality. So it's really, I guess, kind of a customized solution for them, where we really get into the company, understand what they're looking for, and then can do things like screen applications. We do pre-screening and interviews. I think one of the things that makes AIESEC great in the sense is that since we're a student-based organization, a lot of the people who are working with AIESEC are students, and thus volunteers are able to commit a lot of their time to helping companies kind of narrow down the pool.
What kind of guarantee is there if this person doesn't work out for whatever reason?
Well, one of the things that we put in place to ensure this is that the company has the final decision in every single internship that we ever raise. So we work with you guys closely to present you with a really high-quality pool of people, but the final decision is always up to the company. So we would never place an intern in your company that you didn't feel comfortable about hiring yourself.
How many people would I be able to choose from? Would I give you I guess, what is it, a form I fill out or something like that about, all the characteristics I want of this person, then you match it with, how many people would I be looking at?
It really depends on how many you'd like to. Different companies usually have different, I guess, preferences or requirements in terms of how many applicants they need to screen for each position. Generally, we like to say we'll provide anywhere from 3 to 8 or so candidates for each position. But again, that's really sort of dependent on what you guys prefer to have in terms of a selection process.
So let's say we take an intern, we bring them in. We're just used to having someone here. They do their job, they go home. We don't have to get them a green card or something. Like how are these? You talked about the visa, but who pays for that? Like how does this all work?
Who pays for the visa?
Yeah, and how? What's that process?
Sure. So there's, as I mentioned, there's the 3 sort of core services that we offer: the sourcing, the visa processing, and on the J1 visa, you don't have to worry about things like obtaining a green card. We also work with the participants once they come here to obtain a social security card, which is the only other thing they need to collect a salary. With that is included health insurance as well.
Oh, health insurance is
Health insurance is included, and then as I mentioned, the local reception. The cost for all of that is $3,500.
Okay.
The health insurance is covered by AIESEC. So
it's built into the program actually. So
so they wouldn't be on our.
So we don't have to pay extra for this person to have coverage.
They're covered through AIESEC has a relationship with AIG. Don't worry, the insurance part of AIG is still solvent, and
my taxpayer.
Yeah, exactly. The bailout's going to help out there. Anyway, but the insurance that we provide, the insurance is part of the AIESEC program. So.
Well, gosh, this doesn't seem. I'm not sure if 3,500 is. I mean, I guess the whole scheme of things.
It's a lot better than swimming through all the resumes I've had to swim through in the
Well,
past.
perhaps if we can do a bit of ROI, return on investment. May I ask you what are your hot regions of client base?
We're mostly here in LA, but our clients, for our clients,
Yeah,
I would
you
say.
said international, so
Yeah, I would say Asia is hot right now, specifically India, China. Another kind of hot little area is Russia. Right now. So I would say those are kind of the areas.
Yeah, so we in Asia, India, China, Japan, AIESEC, and in Russia as well, AIESEC has chapters there. So we can actually provide you with interns to come here from these spots based on your preference, whichever spots, countries you prefer. We can provide them to come here if you want them in, let's say, sales, and include them in your sales team so they would be the relating point with your customers. They would be able, in many cases, to facilitate sales deals. This has been done in numerous accounts. Right here, for example, one of our recent partners, Portland Roasting, they actually hired an intern from Tanzania because they have a lot of business with Tanzania. They asked us for an intern from there. We provided them with the intern. They were able to actually have better ROI, return on investment, managed to be at like sort of a connection point between Portland roasting and the farming companies in Tanzania.
Now, what level are we talking about of education? You mentioned some of them are graduates, some of them are not. Do we determine what's needed?
You determine what is required and what is preferred. Basically, you have the options to select what you want. It's not like we're forcing a certain specific intern. You decide your preference list, and then we do all of the work of searching and looking for the perfect set of candidates, the finalized group, let's say, that you can actually choose from and base your decisions on that. Andrew here mentioned that we do interviews for the candidates. If you would like to as well, you can do your interviews as well. So we would have a first base interview to prove that the candidate is professional and that all of his or her qualifications are valid, and everything. And then they go to you for a second interview where you either approve or decline them.
They come to us for a second interview?
I meant are passed towards you,
Oh, right,
based on
so you
request.
screen them and
We
you
screen
screen
them.
out,
Yeah.
whatever, and then whatever's we get to.
Are we gonna be actually able to talk at any time with these people individually before making a decision?
Oh, absolutely. The general process is that we'll work with you guys to determine really what your qualifications are in terms of the program. We'll then sort of source an initial base of candidates based on that, and then help facilitate whatever further interviews you guys would like to have with them. So it's sort of our standard operating procedure to use AIESEC sort of as a first gate, I guess, for sort of a first pool of applicants, and then to kind of work with you guys through your interview process to narrow down the final candidate.
What's the length of this process? So we decide we want to do it. What does a typical process look like?
I would say the fastest you could expect to have an intern here would be in about 3 months. There's just 3 general phases to the program. The first is, of course, kind of understanding what your needs are and setting up the parameters of the program. What kind of people do you want to have? How many of them do you want to have? How long do you want to have them here in the country? Then there's a process for sort of setting up the initial visa paperwork. There's some paperwork that you need to fill out as a company that we would help you with to participate in the J1 program. It's paperwork that's needed for the State Department. That's about a 2 to 3 week process. The second phase is the sourcing for the candidate, so that's for us to do the promotions, do the screening. We generally like to have about 4 to 6 weeks for that process, to have an initial batch of candidates for you guys to review. Assuming that you guys are able to find a candidate through that initial sort of screening process and you select one, then it's about another 2 to 4 weeks for the person to actually get their visa. So once you guys select a candidate, we work directly with that person to help them fill out the necessary paperwork, coach them for their consulate interview, at which point then they obtain their visa usually in about 1 or 2 weeks, and then help with their logistical travel arrangements.
What do these people get paid?
Well, there's no requirement under the J1 program. Sorry, there's no requirement under AIESEC for a minimum stipend for the person. That being said, the State Department does require that anyone coming on a J1 program has the ability to demonstrate that they have, I guess, the funds to cover the cost of living here in the United States. Generally, through an AIESEC program that's provided a stipend by the company. So we